Reservations should be built up like the ghettos. Native Americans, just like African Americans, live in immense poverty, and of course, no American anywhere should live in poverty. But African Americans and Native Americans are poor because of historic injustice. A lot of focus has been put on the inner city, as it should be. But there should also be focus on reservations not being given the money and independence they are entitled to. Why the Tea Party succeeded so quickly. It shouldn't be that difficult to understand, but I'll explain anyway. The progressives need way more power to create change than the Tea Party, because the Tea Party didn't contradict the views of billionaires. Progressives are going up against an incredibly wealthy enemy. The Tea Party did not. Their views, if anything, aligned with that of billionaires. They were against taxation. This means they were well funded from the very beginning. For a progressive to get a lot of money, they need to be able to inspire millions of people. If they want millions of dollars for their campaign, because they receive small dollar donations. That takes time because while there are a lot of poor people who might know instinctively there is a problem, they might not know what the solution is. There is a lot of propaganda and a lot of misinformation. Also, bigotry towards the people the left tries to defend, like gay people, black people, women, and others. This gets in the way of solidarity. White people during Reconstruction had voted for lots of black people into office, recognizing them as brethren in poverty. But the old plantation class started producing tons of propaganda, and many poor white Southerners decided they would rather be poor than see a black person in a position of power. Many bigots feel the same way today. There is no misinformation among the 1%. As Noam Chomsky laid out in his Manufacturing Consent, they are the ones producing information, or I should say, the alternative. They know the truth. And because there is a much smaller number of billionaires than poor, it's much easier for them to coalesce. I don't even think the Tea Party had to campaign for money whatsoever. I think the billionaires saw the movement and knew it would be good for them and funded them from the outset. Prior to the Tea Party, things have been going, granted very slowly, but very steadily, better. I think The Daily Show and later Bernie Sanders' presidential campaign woke a lot of people up to the problems in this country. Things were changing, at least superficially. We had a black president, gay marriage became legal, and affordable health care was signed into law. Even the first two, that don't appear to be of any economic significance, had major repercussions for billionaires. As I said, one of the biggest stumbling blocks for lower class solidarity is bigotry. There is another powerful weapon for the American aristocracy and aristocracies everywhere. This is another powerful weapon for the American aristocracy. Divide and conquer. Yet billionaires, because of their small number and immense wealth, can act quickly, and within a single presidency they were able to elect Donald Trump. Now, I don't want to end on a bleak note because another massive stumbling block to change is defeatism. So let me note some strengths of progressives. We do take more time to get started, but once a movement gets going, it becomes very difficult for even the 1% to stop. Because there are so many poor people, there are a near infinite number of ways for people to try to create change. This can only be a headache for those up top. It's like playing whack-a-mole. With so many different strategies, it becomes incredibly difficult for even the rich to develop a plan with how to deal with the problem. Because so many people can easily create so many problems. It's why Malcolm X said, don't worry about strategy and a game plan. Just focus on educating people that there is a problem, and people will create their own solutions, and that is to our benefit. You don't want a single solution because it becomes very easy then for the 1% to figure out a way to counteract it. There are only two types of leftists I attack. Those that attack other leftists, like Jimmy Dore, while at the same time coddling fascists and aligning with the right, and those that advocate harmful tactics like sit-ins, hunger strikes, and self-immolation. I don't think you need to hurt yourself to create change, but otherwise the door is wide open. Conservatives gaslight themselves. Here's another issue, major issue, billionaires face: aligning themselves with Tea Partiers. When you align yourself with unhinged people, you begin to lose control because you cannot reason with a crazy person. Once you give that crazy person power, they will increasingly take over, and nothing you can do will stop them. You were the one who gave them legitimacy in the first place, so who is going to listen to you when you say these people are nuts? While billionaires may fund the Republican Party and various other fascist organizations around the globe, the real rank and file of the party are unhinged bigots. Having zealots as your soldiers is a mixed bag. On the one hand, they will never suffer defeatism like we do on the left, because they block themselves off from reality. Up until the very end, Hitler believed he could win the war, and as we see also with kamikazes and suicide bombers, people will kill themselves so long as they believe in what they are doing. It doesn't matter if it's true. The weakness is the same as their strength. They don't live in our reality, which means they can't strategize. It's very easy to win a game of chess against somebody who thinks he's playing checkers. They are going to do things that don't make any sense. Why in the hell did Hitler invade Russia? Why did he break off half his army after doing so to invade Stalingrad? Why did Hitler, very early in his career, conspire the beer hall putsch? Why did Trump supporters invade the Capitol? These people aren't simply unhinged, they are dumb. Really dumb. Because to be a fascist, you must avoid history, or be selective in your reading of it. In short, that is the strength of the left. We might not have money, but we are diverse, and we are intelligent. Moderates and even Republicans will change once the zeitgeist changes. No conservative who wants to keep their job, be it a politician or a commentator, will continue to oppose the zeitgeist. Once they realize they are losing, the smarter ones will regroup and try to think of some other way to hold on to power. Therefore, after the Civil War, you saw the rise of the KKK and Jim Crow. After the Civil Rights Movement, as Malcolm X said, a lot of KKK members became police officers, traded in their sheets for uniforms. I'm not sure if our movement succeeds, if there is any other place for conservatives to go. It's what's both very hopeful and, simultaneously, very dreadful about the new overtly racist voter laws in the South that are happening, and other laws. Instead of trying to be more insidious, they are coming back out into the open. They are making their final stand. I think if leftists win this battle, conservatism in America will be, for all intents and purposes, dead. However, how quickly we can defeat this rising fascism in the South will determine how much suffering there will be before we accomplish our goal. There remains the strong potential that some sort of armed conflict will occur. I'm not talking about an industrial civil war, but maybe something like the Troubles in Ireland. We have a lot of militias, and an increasingly unhinged and desperate Republican Party, and a mealy-mouthed and spineless president. Overall, I'm afraid this does not bode well for the future.